Okay, Silver, you can do this. Just knock on Sonic's door and ask him for a favor. Silver, what an unexpected surprise. Hey there, Sonic. You're probably wondering why I, of all people, knocked on your door. Is it because you wanted to join Sonic's D&D campaign? We could use some new members for our party. That sounds fun and all, but that's not why I'm here. What's going on, Silver? It's Shadow. Has he been pissing you off again? No, it's not that. Silver, that is a regular thing between you and Shadow. You two bicker and argue like an old married couple. You're not thinking of cutting ties with Shadow, are you? Me? Cut ties with Shadow? Hell no! Sure, I often scream at him to fuck off, but Shadow's one of my best friends, just like you and Tails. And since I gave him that whistling lesson before he saw Sonic the Hedgehog 3 with you guys, he hasn't been acting like himself. He keeps whispering Maria's name, even in his sleep. And seeing how we saw a different version of Shadow's backstory in Sonic the Hedgehog 3, he's been missing her more and more. Is he incapable of letting go of that pain? You should know, Sonic! You've known him longer than I have! I definitely remember the scene in Sonic the Hedgehog 3 where Shadow and I reconciled and put our differences aside after I showed him that revenge is not the way. He seemed to be in tremendous emotional pain, but not to the point where he set an entire laboratory on fire and attempted to take his own life, unlike a certain brother of mine. Sonic isn't around to hear that, is he? No, he and Aurora are having a picnic in the park reading that new Hunger Games book, Sunrise on the Reaping. And besides, that project is getting remade with new scenes. Did anyone ever tell you that breaking the fourth wall has been done to death in comedy? You do make a good point there, Silver. Where is Shadow now? I don't know. He hasn't been himself lately. For all I know, he could be visiting Maria's final resting place. I mean, he did mention that Maria would have been the perfect whistling coach for Shadow. Where's Maria buried? The same place where Professor Gerald is buried, I believe. And where's that? Mobotropolis. I believe that's where Sonic's foster parents are buried. And Jean's father. Then what are we waiting for, Silver? Let's get a move on. Hey there, Maria. It's Shadow again. Life's been pretty difficult for me lately. Ever since Black Doom showed his ugly fucking face again. And I got a bunch of strange venom powers. Like a pair of wings, a broken surfing mechanic, an inkling from Splatoon, and enhanced powers also he can make me his goddamn puppet. But you and I are in a movie together. I'm played by Keanu Reeves, and you're played by Elila Brown. Pretty good casting if I say so myself. But anyway, I learned a new skill. It's nothing relating to my abilities. It's a skill that you would have loved to see. Want to see it? Well, here it goes. That was amazing, Shadow! Go away, Sonic! Shadow, we came here because we're worried about you! I'm perfectly alright. Now please leave me alone! Come on, Shadow. I'm not here to fight, and neither is Silver. Spare me the bullshit, Sonic! Silver and I bicker and argue all the time like it's some kind of fucking running gag. Either he starts it or I do. It doesn't matter. I don't know how you two found me, but I came here to be alone. So I'm gonna say this once. Leave me alone! You miss her, don't you? Even after all this time? Shut the fuck up before I smack your face in! Come on, Shadow, please. Every time you and I are in the same room together, we either bicker and argue like the rivals we are, face off against each other in Super Smash Bros. And Mortal Kombat, or just try to outmatch one another in hand-to-hand combat. But we hardly ever sit down and talk about what's bothering us. So come on, Shadow, what's bothering you? You wanna know what's bothering me, Sonic? I just learned how to whistle, but Maria wasn't around to hear it! Shadow. Shadow Generations takes place in 2011. Before you and Seanic faced off against the Time Eater, I didn't learn how to whistle until 2024. Just before I joined you in reviewing Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Well, for the record, when you whistled after Amy questioned your comment after she and I kissed underneath the mistletoe at Studiopolis Cinemas, I did not see that coming, and neither did the others. And I even remember asking you, back at the Battle of the Closing Ceremonies in 2016, almost 10 years ago, mind you, if you could whistle.
Shadow, can you whistle? No, I can't whistle, and besides, I'm not a Hunger Games fan, Sonic.
Since then, I've been wanting to wait for the perfect moment to learn how to whistle. If there's anything I've learned from watching movies like The Hunger Games and Black Widow, is that whistling brings out the best in us, and giving a whistle as a sign of mourning. Mourning with a U. Not the time of day where Seanic and I drink coffee in our blue and white bathrobes, no. I think we get the point, Sonic! Remember the post-credit scene from Black Widow, where Yelena goes up to Natasha's grave and whistles her part of the secret whistle that they shared? And that Clint Barton brought back in the final episode of Hawkeye on Disney+. Yeah, but I just wish I could go back in time and whistle for her. But my chaos powers can only do so much. And I don't want to bother Seanic, asking him for one of his time travel bracelets. Then whistle a song in her memory. That's exactly why I came here. To her burial site. To tell her that I learned how to whistle. From Silver of all people. Why didn't you consult Seanic or myself on teaching you how to whistle? Because you were busy playing D&D with Seanic, Tails, Calvin, and David. Well, that is true. We wanted to finish up our D&D campaign before we went to see Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Come on, Shadow! Show Sonic what you've learned, and pick a song that Maria would adore! Okay, this one's for you, Maria. Edelweiss from The Sound of Music? I mean, it definitely screams Shadow and Maria right there. Shh! Icy Joey! Feel free to join me. Blossom of snow, may you bloom and grow. Bloom and grow. Oh, wait, I should be whistling too. Whoops! How did that feel, Shadow? That felt good. You feeling alright, Shadow? Thanks, you two. I definitely needed that whistle session. I'm glad you did, Shadow, because your whistling is some of the best I've heard in a very long time. Well, there is one thing about that whistling session I'd like to nitpick. And what's that? Silver's whistling needs some improvement, because it sounds like he can't decide whether to whistle tenor or alto. Maybe his voice being naturally high-pitched affects his whistling patterns. Fuck off, Shadow! You know I had to. I think what Shadow needs is some pizza and a movie night in Seanic's lab. What say you to Matt Reeves' The Batman? Hell yes! Definitely the best Batman movie since The Dark Knight. Not unlike the time where the Doctor hate-watched Green Lantern in 2011. Right, Silver? Shadow, are you asking for it? Maybe. Come on, guys, let's head on back to Seanic's lab. I'm definitely up for a movie in Seanic's lab. Just as long as Silver doesn't disrupt the movie with his loud supersonic belches when he drinks all the Pepsi. Fuck off, Shadow!